It's Leftovers, where I read the jokes we didn't use this week, and as always, it's my first time reading them, so if they suck, we'll feed Joe Mackey X-Lax and a pot of coffee and make him do squats. Sad thing is, he'll like it. So nearly 24 Tren de Aragua gangbangers in an ICE detention center flooded the unit by clogging the toilets. They learned this from watching Jerry Nadler. Meanwhile, a new study shows that chimpanzees wipe their butts after going to the bathroom. They learned this from not watching Jerry Nadler. They were connected, those jokes. Former FBI Director James Comey is being investigated by the Secret Service for posting 8647 on Instagram, allegedly code for killing President Trump. He's also being investigated for threatening Jenny by posting 8675309. One day I'm going to make her mine. Hillary Clinton weighed in on the Qatar plane gift by tweeting, "No one gives someone a $400 million jet for free without expecting anything in return." Well, I see your point about the plane, but what about a Hummer?
Knew that was coming.
They're very comfortable rides. After shaking as many hands as possible in Saudi Arabia, President Trump teased Joe Biden for only offering up a fist bump years ago, which is still better than Hunter, who offered a bump off his fist. If you're laughing, you've done it. According to a new book, Biden brought in Steven Spielberg to help his campaign. His staff had just watched Jurassic Park and figured he's the man to bring a dinosaur to life.
Nice.
Halle Berry says she's not sure if a woman should ever play James Bond. So I guess you're out of luck, Chris Hayes. Gratuitous. What the hell, it's Friday. An Amazon driver was caught on camera taking a dump on a homeowner's doorstep. What's the big deal? What if that's what you ordered? Hey, honey, my poop's here. My poop's here. Yeah, you're laughing now. It could be big business. According to a report at a Super Bowl party, Hunter Biden once threatened to knock out CNN's Jake Tapper. It's a change for Hunter, who usually threatens to knock people up. Cops found what appeared to be a human leg bone near Taylor Swift's beachside mansion. I guess the bone and the rest of the body are never, ever, ever getting back together. I never liked it, but Surgeon General pick Casey Means once claimed she used magic mushrooms to help find love, which is different from Joy Behar, who was hired by a truffle farm to find mushrooms.
That's a good one. That's a good one. Ooh, that's a good one.
The Taliban in Afghanistan has banned chess due to fears the game is a source of gambling. The good news is, though, they're still totally okay with pin the tail on the donkey that you plan to have sex with.
Oh.
The passenger has sworn off flying Spirit Air after finding cockroaches in her seating area. Wow, Spirit will sell tickets to anyone. And finally, scientists say the universe is decaying much more rapidly than previously expected. Experts say to make it seem longer, watch Fox at 8 p.m. All right. So all week, we've been hearing bombshell revelations about Joe Biden from the book Original Sin. Not to be confused with Original Sin, the erotic thriller I made with Sharon Stone back in 1992. People still hit the pause button when I uncross my legs. So yeah, we heard a lot about Joe, but what about Kamala? Well, just like the corpse, it's now okay to talk about how terrible the clown was too. Because before it would have been career suicide to spill the beans and commit an act of actual journalism. Ripping on Kamala now is about as risky as wearing leather chaps to a pride parade. Right, Dr. Drew? But now it's being reported that they were so paranoid about her public behavior, they held a fake party ahead of a D.C. dinner in 2022. Her aides even considered serving wine so she could practice with a glass or two, but decided not to. Good call. The only time Kamala stops after 2 glasses is when she switches to chugging Listerine. The book also claims Kamala was a regular headache for the White House and often shied away from tough assignments. Good thing she wasn't really the border czar that they said she was. Even easy assignments like fronting the National Space Council, she found difficult, just like walking in a straight line while saying the alphabet. But even this supposed scoop isn't anything new. We already knew that when she fell out of that coconut tree, she must have gone head first. But back then, most of the media ignored Kamala's incompetence for the same reasons they covered for Joe's decline, because their first priority was always trying to stop Trump. And now they're writing tell-all books about it. That's how good the Trump economy is. Even losers who conspired against him are making cash. So we had 2 stooges in power. All that was missing was Mo. But this shouldn't have been news to anyone. We told them over and over, and all they did was call us liars. So for us, there are no world-changing bombshells, just a way for the media to avoid an admission of guilt. Joe was asleep at the wheel, and the cackler could get a DUI just walking around the Rose Garden. It's just a sad attempt to pretend to be journalists after hiding the biggest scandal in presidential history. Biden and Kamala were lead actors in a staged White House. It reminds me of one of those open houses when they have to rent new furniture and scrub clean the bloodstains from the scene of a bloody crime. They never did sell Dana's bungalow. And of course, the media covered for them. Turns out the only cheap fakes are CNN employees who took a pay cut. They had a regiment of hacks ready to spin at moment's notice. Don't worry, Biden's debate was great. He just had a cold. Well, if a cold can give you that much brain damage, I better start mixing vitamin C with my Valtrex. No, Biden and Kamala weren't the trailblazers they were pegged to be, unless they were blazing a trail to a long-term care facility. But in a way, this administration was a historic first. Typically, you elect people into office that are problem solvers. You don't elect people who become the problem that you need to solve. Their incompetence worsened issues facing everyday Americans. But lucky for us, we had a stud batting cleanup. And unlike Harris, he's a giant at small talk.
The job you've done is second to none. You look at this, it's so beautiful. As a construction person, I'm seeing perfect marble. This is what they call perfecto. And just a great job you've done, and what a beautiful place. And we appreciate those camels. I haven't seen camels like that in a long time.
We haven't seen camels like that in a long time. We don't deserve him. You know, it's not a coincidence that I have a doctor on the panel to discuss Kamala's condition. Now, I've seen or heard that they often will do rehearsals for people with social phobias. Do you think this is what it was like, or is there something else going on?
Well, a couple things. I mean, exposure therapy is the way of the world now. That's why safe spaces are the anathema to mental health.
Exposure therapy. I get thrown off the bus for that.
Well, it's a different...
I'm sorry, go ahead.
So, but you also mentioned, so there's a couple things about the sort of exposure they were putting her to, which was this may be a way of sort of reacclimatizing her to her social anxiety without the use of alcohol, which is interesting. She may lean on alcohol, people have speculated. And the other thing is you mentioned how that they are like a stage setup. I've actually been on the stage. Do you know they had a fake Oval Office?
Yes.
I've been on that stage.
Yeah.
It is now, they've moved it into sort of a fake press pool and a fake this. And they used to use that for Biden's interviews. So this whole presidency and vice presidency was about false sort of staging of everything.
Yeah.
It wasn't, everything to me has lost its I can't rely on anything that comes out of them.
Yeah, no, they've lost all their validity.
Their veracity,
yeah. It is interesting, though, about that point about the drinking thing, is that it's always a sign something's bad when they have to manage it.
Oh, for sure.
You know, when you manage your drinking, that means you have an issue. Like, I'm going to have beer instead of wine. Or I'm going to have just a 6-pack instead of a 12-pack.
The way we say that is it's not a normal relationship with alcohol. Most people don't have to manage alcohol.
Yeah.
They just make choices.
But here's the question. Which version of Harris was the sober one?
Yeah.
Like, that's what I want to see.
Yeah.
Where's the video where she's sober? Show me that, because I think all we've seen is the drunk version of
And that
Harris.
helped her out, because you could never tell if she was drunk.
Right.
Because she was like that all the time.
Where's the sober one?
Yes, that's why I act retarded all the time.
So here's what we got to do. We got to have a fake party to teach someone how to act real. This is the new thing.
Yes. Do you think they told her? Like, I mean, it's like you don't tell people when they're given a placebo. Do you think they told her the party was fake? Or do they tell her it was real?
I don't think they told her for 4 years. I'm not going to lie. I mean, this entire administration has been fake. From the guy who was supposedly running the country that clearly wasn't, the fact that they had a fake primary that wasn't even a primary,
Yes.
Signatures.
the fake
Oval
news
Office.
that covered it.
Fake
Yes.
news.
And then the best is that the people are covering for this are like, man, we just dodged a bullet, didn't we?
Yeah.
You're the bullet. You're the thing that we had to dodge.
It's so-
and they're like, wow, we can laugh about it now, but that was close.
We have to, the longer we let this go on, the more the scandal this has to be a commission. Emily, so here's the thing, like, if you take a great leader like Winston Churchill, so everybody knows that he drank, but that's okay because he's a great leader. So I would understand, like, Kamala having some kind of antisocial lubrication issue if she was actually doing stuff. But we find out she wasn't doing anything either.
Right.
So why were they covering for an incompetent? I mean, it's not like we needed her.
Right. I think the lubrication's an added enhancement to the exposure. It gets you an added sentence, for the record. Yeah, look, that's what was so demoralizing about this. We forgive brilliant geniuses for having quirks, right? We forgive amazing leaders for having qualities that are maybe undesirable, because the whole point is it's a trade-off. Of course, I will gladly take Winston Churchill as an alcoholic because of the brilliant leader that he was. Here, however, we have nothing in exchange. There are no redeeming qualities. And I think when we assess the situation, and especially, by the way, the kabuki theater of a fake party for the vice president, that's what you do in Hollywood. You know, a talent that they're about to be the star of a Hollywood film. A vice president?
We do, you know who we do this for? Whenever we throw book parties for Kilmeade.
Poor Kilmeade. But remember, on the record, we had dozens, in fact, I think it was 30, dozens of anonymous sources from her camp that came out and leaked about her deficiencies, the toxicity, their failure to keep up, all the things. And the whole point is the media didn't pick it up. So now on their apology tour that they're making, trying to make their money and act like, oh, well, we just didn't know, they covered even that up because people from the inside of the White House were screaming.
You look like you're ready to explode.
Tyrus, like, I can't even.
I know.
Just-
your
it
body
just-
move, you.
The of this is just insanity. Like, you just let's look at the Jim Henson, rest his soul, couldn't have made two better puppets than President Biden and Kamala Harris. Like, and each one had like their own little weird quirks. Like, he was an arrogant guy with dementia puppet. And then she was a narcissist with anxiety disorder. So all the bases were covered. They would do weird. If you called him on it, he'd forget. And if you called her on it, shame on you, she has a disorder.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying? Why? You just want to just, I mean, come on. But what really bothers me, if I had to work with someone who was weird and quirky and said and I had to bring him in all the time,
Keep going, yes.
And stay with me.
Yes.
And then we were going to put him up to be the head star.
Yes.
And we had to practice
Crazy.
having him around people. At some point, I would look at the rest of the crew and go, are we kidding ourselves? He's failing the practice party. You had to practice.
Can you imagine being hired for that thing? Like if did they hire actual waiters and waitresses or actors to play waiters and waitresses?
And they did the thing like when you have a birthday party, you know your kid's a brat, but you won't admit it. So you tell the clown, look, he has a few issues, disorders.
Yeah.
He's a narcissist with anxiety, so make sure you don't call him out on anything.
She's going to ask where the booze is.
Yeah.
Just say it's on its way. Just say there was an accident with the truck. Yes.
This is why the propaganda media, I hate them so much, is that they knew this. This wasn't hard. Anyone could see it. And they still try to pretend like and you keep bringing it up. Yeah. They lied to me. Yeah. It's called spin.
Yeah.
You keep saying it. And we keep saying, oh, you knew what it was. The journalist's job is to call them out on the spin. Mm-hmm. You're supposed to have integrity.
Shouldn't they be trying to find the people who are in that room at the
Or here's an idea, and I never went to journalism school for 3 seconds, but even I know a follow-up question.
Yeah. All right, we must move on. We've got more stuff ahead. Up next, Comey's asinine threat.
Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.